Trying to think of a new thing to say at the start of this video, and I've come up with nothing, so I just changed my background and thought I'd tell you that I don't feel that flash today. It's crack of dawn, it's Monday, it's content day, so I've got to record, but I've got a self-inflicted headache. So let's move on swiftly, shall we? This week we're talking about the high-end mics, the ones that cost you a little bit more, but you really do get some serious bang for your buck. We're even going to be talking about the one that I'm talking into right now, but hold the phone on him. First and foremost, we'll get up and running again. Like the last 2 weeks, these are all about dynamic mics because the world that I live in, dynamic mics work much better. The people that I work with, dynamic mics are much more suitable most of the time because they don't have highly treated environments, and condenser microphones work better in those. So, with that being said, all of these are also XLR only mics this week. When you start getting up into that high-end stuff, they don't usually make microphones that work with USB. So if you're looking for something that can plug straight into your computer without having an interface, these ones won't necessarily be suitable. You'll need an interface to go with them. With that all being said, let's get underway. Audio-Technica BP40. So a relatively new product from Audio-Technica, but the reviews are raving. Awesome mic, sounds good, it looks even better. Super slick, loving the nice black. It's got built-in pop filters, so you don't need to put a pop filter on the outside, kind of like this guy here. He's got built-in pop filters. In fact, all of the microphones I'm talking about today do have those, so you don't necessarily need to worry about having one externally, which is always cool and helps with the visual aspect, especially if you're doing lots of video stuff. The great thing about this mic is, one, it's not super expensive. It's still in the high end in terms of quality, but we're sitting at 600 New Zealand dollars here, which is pretty good. The other great thing about it is you don't need major gain boost in terms of either your interface or an external booster. They call them cloud boosters, which is the next two microphones may or may not need that depending on your setup. So you've got to add kind of another inline component to make sure that the gain or the volume of your voice is high enough. Whereas this one, most cases you won't need to do that. So awesome mic in that sense. Go do your own research. That one's a wicked mic and not too crazy expensive. Also, by the way, none of these mics are crazy expensive. You can spend like 20 grand on a microphone, which for me is obscene. No one needs to know about the $20,000 microphones. And if you do, then ask me, and I'll be impressed if that's your price bracket, and I'd like to know why you're interested in spending $20,000. But you can get 99% of the way there for under a couple of thousand, generally speaking. All right, next one. The Shure SM7B. This is another absolute OG. Shure seem to make OGs. They just make great products. This one's been around quite a long time. You see them all over the place. Places like the Joe Rogan podcast, he's using a SM7B. Podcast studios and recording studios all around the world have got these guys in for a reason. They're just awesome. They're one of the best in the business. Fantastic mic. They've got a high-pass switch, which means you're cutting out some of that low-end bass, some of those hum noises and that sort of stuff in line rather than having to do it afterwards, which is always good. The build quality is fantastic. They're awesome in a studio space. They've got a unique kind of XLR output with these, so actually the cable runs around the mic and then the XLR goes into the top, so visually they look a little bit different when it's set up on camera. Personal preference, I would say. And they're just made really well. They're an all-rounder. They're a really good all-rounder. Coming in a little bit more expensive than the Audio-Technica, but again, massive value for money in these. You get what you pay for. Next one, and the last one. Already crushing through it. It's only 3. I don't want to bore you all day. Here he is. You might even recognize him. I'm using it right now. The Electro Voice RE20. Biased opinion, but I absolutely love this microphone. I think it's an absolute gem. right down to coming with an awesome case. Even the case is fantastic and helps protect the product. But for me, I'm moving around. I have to unpack, pack up, unpack all the time, take these things all around the place, and they're just bulletproof. Much to my disgust, they made a black one, which I would have bought, but unfortunately, I bought this one first in this unusual colour, this kind of grey, old school colour. They haven't even changed the colour. They've been making these things since 1968. And they haven't changed the colour or the internal components. Everything's pretty much the same. So you've got the like I said, you can now get a black one, which looks epic and way slicker than this guy does. But the sound and everything else is still amazing. What I'll say with this is you'll need a decent mic stand. They're quite heavy, so make sure when you get a mic stand you don't budget out on that one because you'll be disappointed that it'll move. When you're trying to talk and do all that sort of stuff, but nothing too serious. Just be aware that these are on the heavier range, same as the SM7B, a little bit heavier, so you need good mic stands. This is my pick of the bunch, particularly if you can stomach the cost. I know they're a little bit more expensive, but if you want to listen to how I sound, then chuck your headphones on and have a listen. I think this microphone for my voice is amazing. It's not very sibilant, which is great. The SM7B, sometimes people complain a little bit that it's a little more sibilant, but this guy, in my what's the word? Opinion, is the pick of the bunch. Pop filters built in, so as you can see, I don't have one on the outside, and just the build quality is amazing. I don't know if I'll ever buy anything else. I'll probably just buy a black version because they look way cooler. That is it from me. I hope you enjoyed this week. If you've got any questions about microphones, hit me up. I'll do my best to get them answered. If it's a holiday for you right now because it's King's birthday in New Zealand, then enjoy your day. Try not to do too much work. I failed. I'm working. But anyway, I'll see you next week and be good. Bye.